great. Today's video is actually kind of an important one, specifically if you ride quads or ATVs. Whether you ride them professionally or recreationally, the professionals already know this. It just took me a while to discover this because I nearly broke my wrist twice on the Raptor and thankfully none on the Banshee, but these things are prone to happen quite often and you can't really predict for them. I learned that all racers nowadays, especially on quads and ATVs, use something called the steering stabilizer. I kind of knew about them for the most part, but I thought they were a gimmick. I didn't really think they were actually very useful, especially seeing some that ranged from like $150 to $705 or so. Some get pretty expensive, so I was like, I'd rather put that money on an exhaust or something. However, I now realize that I was wrong and I ended up having to purchase a steering stabilizer to protect my wrists from further damage. But there's also a better plus side to this. It actually makes you drive a lot faster, apparently. I haven't yet experienced that because I'm about to install it. The one I personally went with and I'm going to be talking about today is the Precision Racing steering damper, which just arrived, and this one is the Elite steering damper. Let's just show it to you quickly. Alright guys, so here's the Precision Racing steering damper outside of the box. This is their top of the line model, which is their Elite model. This gives you 65% better impact dampening. As well, I spoke to the guys at Precision Racing and I was told it's not just that, it's also that the increments here are quite sensitive, so you can really dial this in to your specification, and the increments are very, very sensitive. So compared to the other models, every time you make an adjustment, it's not going to be as drastic. You can be very, very fine tuning with this. So I like that. I personally got it for myself because I want to protect my wrists. I've had enough of those moments. I mean, even now, this has been hurting for the past week because I almost broke my left wrist. So I don't want to have to deal with that. And this is by no means cheap. This is pretty expensive. This is around $705. Actually, it is exactly $705 shipped to my door. But again, I was speaking to a few people who are very experienced, professionals with relatively professionals with trail riding, cross country, and just some racers, and all of them actually made me think that just one of these is much cheaper than one trip to the emergency room to take care of a broken bone or something. So definitely worth the investment. And I know there's a lot of products out there, like the stick steering dampers. I was told by the pros to stay away from that because they either fail pretty quickly after a couple of rides, or they just don't do the job and they're not well capable to handle all that impact. Upon doing my own research, I decided to go with Precision Racing because reading all the testimonies and the reviews just made me see how praised this product is. But how I came to know about Precision Racing is actually a funny story. I was watching YouTube, and I have to give a shout out to Pete Haggart because he was doing some cool Raptor content, and I saw the video of him installing the steering stabilizer and dampener, and he was saying how he was injury prone, and that made me think like, man, my wrists are being beat every single time. So I decided to do some more research from there and came to the conclusion that, I really need to go with a stabilizer dampener. And this is relatively a new release, the Elite model. Again, I was talking to Precision Racing and they told me basically that this is their top of the line. And if you really want sensitivity, if you really want the best dampening, this is their model to go with. So I'm going to install this right now, and I can't wait to take the bike out and try it with the stabilizer dampener. I'm curious to see how I can adjust this to find a sweet spot for myself, because I want this to be pretty stiff to absorb all the shock that's going to come to my wrist, but at the same time I don't want to make it too stiff to the point where I can't turn the wheel or the handlebars and make myself unnecessarily tired for no reason. So I'm anxious to see what setting I'll really prefer on this, and I'm sure, you know, depending on how you ride and where you ride, you can just mess with the adjusters, and it has a wide range of adjustability. So let's get that on the bike and go from there. All right, so let's follow the instructions and see where we get. It doesn't tell me to Loctite anything, but I'm gonna put just a touch of blue Loctite on the bolts. Okay, so it's time to torque the back bolts to 25 foot-pound and the front bolt to 20 foot-pound. So yeah, let's get that done. Okay, so finally installed. It's right over there. And relatively simple instructions. It's literally held on by 4 bolts, 2 in the front and 2 in the back. And 2 bolts hold on the stem clamp. And you just have to make sure that the steering is straight and wheels are straight. And this has to be at a 90-degree angle. And the stem clamp and the what's it called, the dampener clamp need to be kind of parallel. So this and this need to be parallel. So yeah, and that's perfect. I think it's really nice. I'm going off of the trail settings from the instruction manual. I can already tell there's some little resistance, but it's not too bad. I mean, if anything, it's quite good. It's probably less than the Banshee's resistance. So so far this is nice. I can handle this. This for sure isn't something that's gonna tire me out. But again, I even have it set to 1 degree. I believe it's 10-12 on the trail settings. I have it 10-13. So I'll play with it. I'll mess around with it because it's really how you feel and how you know how it works for you. If you can handle it, if you can handle the extra stiffness, it's probably going to be more tiring, but it's definitely going to absorb a lot more of the shock. And what's cool is that it has the center and sides adjustment. So it's kind of 2 adjustments. I'm still getting familiarized with the way these things work. So once we take it out, I'll be able to really see what the difference is like. I'm really anxious to try it out. I hope I'll be able to handle a stiffer setting because I really want to absorb as much shock as possible. But at the same time, I want to handle the bike and I want to be able to flick the bike and slide around left and right and have a lot of easy steering movement. So let's see. The install has been done. It's relatively a simple process. I just take my time, you know, to get everything done. I probably spent like 10 minutes just making sure that everything is according to the manual, making sure that the O-rings are straight, and I even made sure that the steering clamp, the stem clamp, is not too up or too down. I kind of wanted no pressure, either, you know, up or down on this piece right here. I wanted it as smooth flowing as possible. And in the instructions it says don't pressure wash this. I don't know why my camera is losing focus so much. It's just crazy. Anyways, guys, let's take the bike out and see how it handles and how it behaves.
I'm telling you, this is insane. I don't even feel the jumps anymore. They're like butter. I love this thing so much. I love it even more now with the stabilizer. I can't believe I didn't have this a long time ago. Should have had this long time ago. I feel like they know me now and they don't want to end up on YouTube. They're like, fuck, if I stop him, he's gonna make a video about me.